Hello there, I'm Teacher Mitch, and today we're going to study about rational functions, its intercepts, zeros, and asymptotes, Module 4. Lesson review. Write if the statement is true and F if it is false. First one, the domain of f of x is equal to x over x squared minus 4 is a set of real numbers except x is equal to 2. What do you think is the answer? The answer is why? Because if we substitute 2 to the value of x in the denominator will be equal to 0. So we can substitute any number except 2 to avoid the denominator turning into 0. Second one, the domain of y is equal to x squared minus 2x plus 1 all over x is a set of real numbers except x is equal to 0. So if we see x here, it's very clear. Kapag pinalitan natin ng 0 yung x, magiging 0 ang denominator. And division by 0 is not allowed. So, except x is equal to 0. Number 3, not all polynomial functions are rational functions. What do you think? That's false. Because every polynomial is a quotient of its own. Kung wala man kayong makitang denominator niya, 1 yung denominator niya. Kapag sinabi kasi nating rational, yun yung para lang siyang fraction. Meron siyang numerator at denominator na parehong polynomial. Kahit 1 pa yan, polynomial pa rin yun. Number 4, the domain of a rational function is the set of real numbers for which g of x shouldn't equal to 0. So, importante na yung g of x natin or yung nasa denominator natin ay hindi equal to 0. Therefore, it's true. Fifth one, a quotient of two polynomial functions, f of x and g of x is called a linear function. Kapag sinabi nating linear function, wala siyang exponent at hindi siya fraction. So, hindi dapat to linear function. Ang dapat dito ay is called a rational function. So, therefore, number 5 is, what is rational function? By definition, the quotient of two polynomials f of x and g of x is called a rational function and is defined by rational r of x is equal to f of x over g of x. So, yung f of x, ito yung numerator dito, yung g of x, denominator. Where g of x shouldn't be equal to 0. The domain of R is the set of real numbers for which g of x shouldn't be equal to 0. Ano bang characteristics? Every polynomial function is a rational function. Tandaan nyo yan, ha? Kaya true yung answer kanina sa number 3. The domain of R is written in a form of dom R is equal to x, such that x is an element of R except C. C refers to numbers that can make the denominator 0. So, yung slash doon, ibig sabihin niya except. Kapag sabing E, yung inverted na ano natin, or letter E na ibang pagkakasulat, that's an element of R. Real numbers, all the numbers na hindi imaginary. Examples natin. To find the domain of h of x is equal to 2x minus 7. So, ito ay isang rational function. Kahit na wala kang nakikitang denominator niya. Kasi ang automatic na denominator niya ay 1. Since you cannot find the value of x in which the denominator becomes 0, kapag domain ang pinag-uusapan kasi, tinitignan natin yung denominator niya. Kung asan yung x doon, ano ang hindi pwedeng maging value ni x. Since wala siyang value ni x, na magiging 0 ang denominator natin, ang ibig lang sabihin ng domain natin dyan, domain of h is equal to x such that x is an element of real numbers. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng real numbers ay pwedeng maging value ng ating or pwedeng maging domain natin.
So here's how to find the intercepts and zero of rational functions. We have here a rational function f of x is equal to 1 plus x all over 3 minus x. When we say intercepts, it is simply the x-intercept and the y-intercept. And the 0 is simply the x-intercept. They are the same. And when we're dealing with rational function, the f of x or any function is also the value of the y. So first, we need to find the x-intercept. To find it, we need to set y equals to 0. Therefore, we can get x 0. 1 plus x all over 3 minus x. F of x is also equal to y. So we will set it into 0. Cross multiplication, we're gonna get 0 multiply to the quantity 3 minus x. 1 plus x, i-bring down lang natin. When we multiply this by 0, mawawala na siya ng value or 0 na lang siya. And then we will get 1 plus x. So therefore, itatranspose natin yung 1 sa kabilang side ng equation. So magiging negative 1 na siya. Mag-change yung sign niya. And then bring down x. Or para mas maayos, pwede natin siyang baliktarin. X is equal to negative 1. So therefore, x is equal to 1, o ganito natin siya isusulat. Negative 1, 0. Since ordered pair, dapat laging nandito sa left yung x at nasa left or nasa right yung y. And this is the value of our x-intercept and also the value of our 0. Now, to get the y-intercept, we need to set the x equal to 0. At ganito ang format niya, 0y. Since y, nasa pangalawang order siya since ito ay ordered pair. F of x is also equal to y, sinabi natin kanina. So, papalitan lang natin lahat ng x into 0. 3 minus 0. So, lahat ng x ng to ay naging 0 na. So, we will have the value for y 1/3. Ganun lang kabilis. Paano natin to isusulat? 0 muna kasi yun ang place ng x at dito naman yung place ng y. So, eto na ang ating y-intercept. So, ganun lang kadali kumuha ng x-intercept at 0 at yung y-intercept. Next, let's find the domain of a rational function. Rational function is equal to the numerator over the denominator, where the denominator shouldn't be equal to 0. Take note, yung denominator hindi dapat equal to 0. So, meron tayo ditong dalawang examples. Let's do the function of x is equal to 2x plus 1 all over x squared minus 4. As I said kanina, magpo-focus lang tayo dito kay denominator. So, x squared minus 4, i-equate lang muna natin siya sa 0. Ngayon, kailangan natin siyang i-factor out. Kung ino-notice natin to, ito ay special product, difference of two squares. Since x squared ay perfect square, and 4 is also a perfect square. So, ang magiging answer niya dito ay sum and difference of two terms. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Kapag sinabing sum, yung isa ay addition, yung isa ay subtraction. Equate natin sa 0. Ano yung factors ng first term natin na x squared? X tsaka x. So, ano naman yung factors ng 4? 2 at tsaka 2. So, magkakaroon tayo ng dalawang values para sa x. X plus 2 equals to 0 at yung isa naman ay x minus 2 is equal to 0. So, kapag inequate natin yan, magiging x, magiging negative 2 na siya at yung isa naman, magiging x is equal to positive 2. So, therefore, ang domain natin is equal to x such that x is an element of R except positive tsaka negative 2. Kasi take note, hindi dapat siya equal sa 0. So, may inequality sign tayo dito, not equal. So, sabi niya dito, lahat ng values ng x na real number except positive tsaka negative 2. Next example naman natin, function of x is equal to 3x over x squared minus 10x minus 24. As I said, magpo-focus pa rin tayo sa denominator when we're finding domain. So, x squared minus 10x minus 24, equate muna natin siya equal to 0. Pero dapat to not equal to 0. Ngayon, kung titignan natin, ito ay trinomial. Ang tawag natin dyan ay general quadratic trinomial. Kailangan din ulit natin siyang i-factor out. Kapag i-factor out natin siya, magkakaroon tayo ng dalawang binomial. So, set natin dito. Ang factors ng x squared ay x at x. Ang factors naman ito kasi ang product. So, 24. Ano yung mga dalawang numbers na kapag pinag-multiply magiging 24? Meron tayong 6 at 4. Take note, negative yung sign natin doon. So, isa sa kanila dapat negative. Pero ang magiging addition dapat ay positive 10. Kapag pinag-add mo ang 6 at plus 4, hindi siya magiging negative 10. So, ano pa kaya yung pwede? Pwede rin yung 12 tsaka 2. Kapag ginawa nating negative yung 12, pinag-add natin ang negative 12 plus 2, ang magiging addition or sum ay negative 10. So, ito ang factors na hinahanap natin. Yung 12 ay negative, kaya magiging minus dito. At yung 2 ay positive, kaya plus 2. So, ito na yung dalawang roots natin or dalawang domain natin. X minus 12, equate natin yan sa 0. Tapos yung isa naman, x plus 2, equate natin sa 0. X is equal to, magiging positive na yung 12. Ito naman, x is equal to negative 2, magiging negative na. So, ang magiging domain natin, domain is equal to x such that x is an element of real number except positive 12 and negative 2. Ayan na magiging value ng domain natin. Ulitin ko, ganito to basahin. Domain is equal to x such that x is an element of real numbers except positive and negative 2. Ganyan natin makukuha ang domain of a rational function. Punta naman tayo sa pagkuha ng vertical asymptote. So dito, magpo-focus pa rin tayo sa denominator. At kailangan nating iset ang denominator equal to 0. So first example, we have function of x is equal to 4x plus 2 all over x squared minus 9. Kukunin lang natin yung denominator. X squared minus 9 is equal to 0. Ngayon, kailangan ulit natin siyang i-factor. Pareho pa rin ito ng isang example kanina. Ito ay example ng difference of two squares. Perfect square ang x squared, perfect square ang 9. So, ang magiging answer dito ay sum and difference of two terms. So, ang factors ng x ay x tsaka x. At ang 9 naman, ang factors niya ay 3 times 3. So, kapag sinabing sum and difference, addition yung isa, minus yung isa. I-equate lang natin, x plus 3 is equal to 0. At yung isa naman, x minus 3 is equal to 0. So, x is equal to negative 3 at x is equal to positive 3. Kapag i-graph natin ang ating vertical asymptote on x, 1, 2, 3, ito yung positive 3 natin, gagamit tayo ng isang broken line. Sa kabila naman, para sa negative 3, broken line pa rin. So, ganito ang magiging itsura ng ating vertical asymptote plot on the axis of x. Another example, f of x is equal to x squared plus x minus 2 all over x squared minus x minus 6. So, ang sabi ko ulit, magpo-focus lang tayo sa denominator. X squared minus x minus 6 is equal to 0. So, ang form na to ay general quadratic trinomial. Ang magiging factors niya ay dalawang binomial. Equal to 0. Ano ang factors ng x squared? X times x. Ngayon, titignan natin yung 6. Ano yung dalawang numbers na kapag pinag-multiply ay magiging negative 6 kasama yung minus doon? Pwede siyang negative 3 tapos 2. Magiging negative 6 siya. Pero paano kapag pinag-add natin? Negative 3 plus 2 ay magiging negative 1. So, therefore, tama yung middle term natin. Kaya, ito ang ating magiging factors. So, ilalagay lang natin yung minus 3 dito at plus 2. Kakaroon tayo ng x minus 3 equal to 0 at yung isa naman ay x plus 2 equals to 0. I-equate lang natin, x is equal to positive 3 at yung isa naman ay x is equal to negative 2. So, kung i-graph natin, Ito yung graph on the x-axis ng ating vertical asymptote. Kaya patayo kasi vertical. Ito yung positive 3 at yung negative 2 naman ay ito. So, ganyan ang itsura ng ating vertical asymptote. Ganun lang kadali. Kukunin lang natin yung value ng x at isiset natin yung denominator equals to 0. Now, let's go to finding the horizontal asymptote. May ibang treatment dito. Hindi na lang denominator ang kinoconsider. Kinoconsider natin dito ang exponent ng numerator at denominator of the leading term. So, meron tayo ditong function of x is equal to the numerator all over the denominator is equal to the a sub n x raised to n. Ito yung exponent ng ating leading term ng numerator up to the constant of the numerator all over the d sub m x to raised to m, or ito yung exponent ng leading term ng denominator up to the constant of the denominator. May tatlo tayong treatment kung paano kunin ang horizontal asymptote or stands for HA. Iko-consider lang natin yung mga leading exponent o yung una at pinakamalaking exponent na makikita natin sa numerator at sa denominator. Kapag yung n ay greater than m o yung exponent ng numerator ay mas malaki sa exponent ng denominator, wala tayong horizontal asymptote. Ilalagay natin does not exist. For example, so solve natin to. 3x times x is equal to 3x squared. 3x plus 1 or times 1 is equal to 3x all over 2x. So ngayon, nakita na natin na mas malaki yung exponent ng numerator kaysa denominator. So automatically, HA, ang answer natin does not exist. So dito sa graph, wala tayong ilalagay kasi wala tayong horizontal asymptote. Pangalawang consideration, kapag yung n ay greater than m, kapag yung n ay less than m rather. Etong exponent ng numerator ay mas maliit sa exponent ng denominator. Ang ating horizontal asymptote ay 0. Tingnan natin ito. Meron tayong exponent dito na 2 sa numerator at yung pinakamalaki naman sa denominator ay 3. Therefore, mas malaki yung exponent ng denominator. Kaya automatically, HA is equal to 0 or pwede nating ilagay y is equal to 0. Kasi, ang graph ng horizontal na to, kapag graph natin on the axis of y ay pahiga. Ito yung broken lines lang din. Yan, y is equal to 0 or 0 ang ating horizontal asymptote. Ang third consideration naman natin, kapag yung exponent ng numerator ay equal sa exponent ng denominator. Kapag ganito ang sitwasyon, kailangan natin i-divide yung numerical coefficient ng leading term. Meron tayo dito, pareho yung exponent or equal sila, parehong 2. So para makuha natin ang ating horizontal asymptote, kailangan i-divide natin yung dalawang numerical coefficient, 4 divided by 2. Kaya ang ating horizontal asymptote ay 2. So kung i-graph natin siya, 1, 2. Ito yung 2. So horizontal, pahiga. Kaya ganito yung graph ng asymptote and broken lines. So ganun lang kadali kumuha ng horizontal asymptote. Kapag n is greater than m, does not exist na agad yon. Kapag n ay less than m naman, 0 na agad or y is equal to 0. Kapag equal naman sila, kailangan mo lang i-divide yung leading term natin, 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. Lastly, how to get the slant asymptote of irrational functions. Note, meron tayong slant asymptote kapag yung n or exponent ng numerator ay greater than the exponent of denominator. Just like this one, ang exponent ng numerator natin ay 2, ang exponent naman dito, invisible, 1. So therefore, meron tayong slant asymptote. Ang gagawin lang natin dyan ay division of polynomials. So magdi-divide tayo. Polynomials. So, ito ang ating magiging dividend, 2x squared minus 5x minus 11 at ang ating divisor ay 2x plus 3. How to divide? I-consider lang natin yung bawat first term nila. 2x squared divided by 2x, ang matitira na lang dyan ay x. Itatapat natin siya dito sa term na x lang din ang coefficient. So, and then we're going to multiply x times 2x magiging 2x squared. X times 3 magiging plus 3x. And then we're going to subtract. Kapag nag-subtract tayo, magbabago lahat ng sign. Magiging negative ito, pati rin ito magiging negative. So, tanggalin natin yan. So, pareho sila, and then positive, negative, mawawala na siya or equal to 0. Meron na tayo ditong negative 5x, tas negative 3x. Pareho na sila ng sign, ipag-a-add natin, negative 8x. Bring down yung ating next term, 11. Ngayon, first term to first term ulit. Negative 8x divided by positive 2x. Since negative yon, minus na rin to. 8 divided by 2 ay magiging 4. Wala ng x. 4 times 2x is equal to, or negative 4 times 2x is equal to negative 8x. Negative 4, isama natin yung negative to na, times 3 ay magiging negative 12. Magma-minus ulit tayo. Ibig sabihin, magbabago lahat ng sign ng subtrahend. So, ito magiging positive. Cancel out, kasi unlike sign silang dalawa. And then, negative 11 plus 12. So, ang magiging remainder natin ay 1. So, idudugtong natin dito, magiging plus 1 all over 2x plus 3. Pero, kapag kukunin natin yung slant asymptote, kinoconsider lang natin yung term na ito, dinidisregard natin yung may fraction na part. So, magiging answer lang natin ay y is equal to x minus 4. This would be our slant asymptote. Next example, we have function of x is equal to x squared plus 14x plus 47 all over x plus 7. Okay, so isosolve ulit natin siya. X squared divided by x. Isang x na lang, itatapat natin siya dito sa term na to. X times x is equal to x squared. X times 7 is equal to positive 7x. Ima-minus natin siya. Magbabago lahat ng sign ng subtrahend. Negative to. Maka-cancel out ito. 14 minus 7 magiging positive 7x. Bring down natin yung next term na 47. Ito na ulit. Negative 7x divided by x. So, ang matitira dyan ay plus 7. 7 times x magiging 7x. 7 times 7, positive 49. Proceed tayo sa subtraction, mababago lahat ng sign. Negative, cancel out na to. 49 positive plus, 47 minus 49. So, magiging negative 2. So, ang magiging quotient, x plus 7 minus 2 all over x plus 7. Pero, sabi ko nga, sa slant asymptote, dinidisregard natin yung fraction part. Kinukuha lang natin to. Y is equal to x plus 7. So, ito na ang ating slant asymptote.